You know, I could to the sanctuary, killed all those dark radical types. I was sick of them. No, I don't think so.
Come on in. The Silverblood Inn has plenty of strong drink and clean rooms. This is the Silverblood Inn. I'll let you figure out who owns it by yourself. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
How can I argue with that?
A little coin always
You
greases
expect
the
me to
wheels.
believe that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. How can I argue with that?
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
It would seem so.
Not my problem.
How can I argue
It can't
with
be
that?
helped.
You expect me to believe that?
Nah, I don't think so.
Our customer needs a drink.
Yes.
寝る時間ね。You want a drink? How can I argue with that?
How can I argue with that?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It would seem...
Expect me to believe that.
Not my problem.
Yes.
How can I argue with that?
Not my
A
problem.
little
It's
coin
true
always
indeed.
greases the
I don't think
wheels.
so.
I don't think so.
It can't be helped.
It would seem so.
yeah.
I'll argue with that.
You expect me to believe that?
How can I argue with that?
Nah.
Yes?
I'm
How
what
can
you'd
I
call
argue
a
with
so
that?
fortune.
I should remind
Make me an
Clever to
offer,
clean this place
and
up.
I just might fight at your side.
A little coin
It would
always
seem
greases
so.
the wheels.
Not my problem.
Nah, I don't think so.
How can I argue with that?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
You expect me to believe that?
It can't be helped.
It would seem so.
How can I argue with that?
Yes?
Indeed.
We warned you, but you had to just go and cause trouble. Now we have to pin all these recent murders on you. Silence witnesses. Work, work, work. Same thing we do with all the other natives who want to change things around here. We had a nice little deal going between Thonar and Madanach until you and Eltrish started snooping around. Well, you wanted to find the man responsible for those killings. You'll have plenty of time with the king in rags when you're in Cidhna Mine. You'll never see the sun again, you hear me? No one escapes Cidhna Mine. No one.
All right, prisoner. Eyes front. You're in Cidhna Mine now, and we expect you to earn your keep. There's no resting your hide in a cell in this prison. Here you work. You'll mine ore until you start throwing up silver bars. You got it?
Think so.
You won't. The Jarl has ordered a life sentence for you. Get comfortable in the dark, because you'll never see the sun again. All right. Open her up. Now you, get down there.
You expect me to believe that?
I don't think so.
can't be helped.
Nah, I don't think so.
It would seem so.
You expect me to believe
I don't
that?
think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
It would seem so.
You expect me to believe that?
What are you in for, new blood?
A little coin always increases. I don't think so.
It would seem so.
Not my problem.
Innocent. So was I, for the first one. The other murders were all me, though. My advice? Serve your time at the pickaxe and get out. You don't want to end up getting a shiv in the guts over a bottle of skooma. Small blade, easy to hide. I mean, sure, you could just swing a pickaxe into someone's face, but people tend to see that coming. Got a problem with a prisoner? Get a shiv. Here Grisvar has a spare, if you could get him to part with it. A Nord nobleman I served was stabbed in the night. Wasn't me, but I knew I'd be blamed. So I ran, joined the Forsworn, started killing, got caught. Now I'm here.
You expect me to believe that?
Yep.
They come in here once a week to clean out the bodies, grab any ore we've mined, and beat down the troublemakers. That's the only time when we get food, too. And if there's not enough ore mined up, we don't get any.
Nah, I don't think so.
You expect me to...
Because life was better under the old ways. No Nords and their laws. One day the Forsworn will paint the walls of Markarth in your kinsman's blood. Best you not be there on that day, Nord.
How can I argue?
If you're asking, that means you're the new lifer. Tough luck, friend. Those guards sold you out, but good. No one talks to Madanach, I'm afraid. Not without getting past Borkul the Beast. And you don't want to talk to Borkul the Beast.
How can I argue with that?
How can I argue with that? True enough.
Madanach's guard. Big, even for an orc. Heard he ripped a man's arm off and beat him to death with it. He's old-fashioned like that.
Nah, I don't think so. Huh? Coin always greases the wheels.
Bottles of moon sugar. Khajiit use it as a pick-me-up. Good way to pass the time. Prisoners smuggle the stuff in. Only currency we have down here. All right then. Indeed.
You expect me to believe that?
It can't be helped.
How can I argue?
The new meat. So soft. Tender. What was it like killing your first one, huh?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
A true killer like me. The gods put us here to fill their halls with souls. We'll fit in fine down here.
Believe that.
Murder, banditry, assault, theft, and lollygagging.
My problem.
Indeed.
Can't be helped.
Guards brought me in about 12 years ago. Was running a good group of bandits up until then. But these Forsworn, they're nothing like the men I cobbled together. They're real killers.
You expect me to believe that?
You want to talk to the king in rags? Fine. But first you gotta pay the toll. How about you get me a shiv? Not that I need one, but it's nice to have one in case I need to do some shaving.
I don't think so.
It seems so. My problem.
Then find one. That dung-heap Grisvar's been known to make a few.
How can I argue with that? Yes.
I don't think so.
Nah, I don't think so.
A little coin always greases the wheels.
How can I argue with
So,
that?
How can I argue with that?
Nah, I don't think so.
it can't be helped.
You expect me to believe that?
Jarl decided I was too much of a problem. Threw me in here with the Forspawn. The first time, thieving. The second time, thieving. The third time, thieving. It kinda keeps going like that.
You expect me to believe?
Ah, you want protection? I can get you what you need. Maybe you could do something for me first. Duok has a bottle of skooma. Finest distilled moon sugar. I'm shaking just thinking about it. Thank you, friend. Don't worry. I'll have that shiv ready for you. First it was 6 months. Then a year. Then 2 years. Now I'm in for life.
It would seem so.
I was sent here because someone said I was a Forsworn.
No, I don't think so.
Guards say I murdered someone. I was just sleeping off some meat in my aunt's house. That didn't stop them from arresting me. I didn't even know who they said I killed. Couple of years. I wasn't a Forsworn when I came, but I joined up when I got in. Easier that way. Good day.
It would seem so.
Yes.
How can I argue with that?
Huh?
Not my problem.
Don't reach for a shiv around me or we'll both regret it.
I don't want to talk about it.
It can't be helped.
Long enough.
Yeah.
All right, then.
How can I argue with that?
Yep.
Huh?
I don't think so.
Indeed.
A little coin always greases the wheels.
You expect me to believe that?
Other prisoners get suspicious when we talk to each other, so keep it down. I'm a Forsworn. One of our raids went bad and I got captured. Would have been fine dying for the Reach with my kinsmen, but the Silver Bloods want their ore mine, so they threw me in here. Year 7, I think. Surprised I haven't cut my own throat out by now, but something keeps me going. You give me one more look, and I cut you open. That skooma's mine. Getting the shakes, huh? All right, take it. Old gods keep you.
See you.
It would seem so.
You expect me to believe that?
Here's your shiv. Promise you won't ever use it on me, okay? Uh-huh.
Nah, I don't think so.
How can I argue with that?
You serve your time by digging, so dig. Ready to pay the toll? One shiv. All right, head on in. But don't try anything in there. Monarch is smarter than you think. Fight well. How can I argue with that?
A little coin always greases the wheels.
Nah, I don't think so.
It would seem so.
How can I argue with that?
It can't be helped.
Well, well, look at you. Your kinsmen have turned you into an animal, Nord. A wild beast caged up and left to go mad. So, my fellow beast, what do you want? Answers about the Forsworn? Revenge for trying to have you killed?
You expect me to believe that?
Your freedom? Yes. But even if you were to escape Cidhna Mine, your name would still be stained with all that blood. You're one of us now, you see? A slave. The boot of your kinsman stepping on your throat. Maybe if you understood that, I could help you. There's a man named Greg inside these mines. Besides me, he's been here the longest. Tell him I sent you. Ask him why he's here. I want you to know how widespread the injustice of Markarth is. I had Markarth. My men and I drove the Nords out. We had won. So we thought. Retribution was swift. I was captured, quickly tried, and sentenced to death. But my execution never came. Thonar Silverblood stopped it. He wanted the Forsworn at his call, that I would point their rage at his enemies and spare his allies. And I have. Humiliating at first, but I knew he would let his guard down eventually, that he would come to trust I was under control. This was our land. We were here first. Then the Nords came and put chains on us, forbid us from worshipping our gods. Some of us refused to bow. We knew the old ways would lead us back to having a kingdom of our own. That is who we are. The Forsworn. Criminals in our own lands, and we will cut a bloody hole into the Reach until we are free. Our vengeance come.
Can I argue with that?
Nah, I don't think so.
How can I argue with that?
Nah, I don't think so.
story, huh? Everyone in Cidhna Mine has a tale. Let's hear yours first. When was the first time you felt chains around your wrists? So you know what it's like to have your life in someone else's hands. Why should they get to decide? Isn't judgment for the gods? Do you have any family? Anyone waiting for you on the outside? I had a daughter once. She'd be 23 this year. Married to some hot-headed silver worker, or maybe on her own, learning the herb trade. The Nords didn't care who was and who wasn't involved in the Forsworn uprising. I had spoken to Madanak once. That was enough. But my little Aethra didn't want to see her papa leave her. She pleaded to the Jarl to take her instead. And after they made me watch as her head rolled off the block, they threw me in here anyway to dig up their silver. My daughter is the one who needs your pity. I'm just a poor Forsworn whose only regret is not killing more Nords before I was locked up. I'm not Madanak. I was never a leader of the Forsworn. The only anger I can justify is my own. But every family in the Reach has a story like mine. There are no innocent onlookers in this struggle, just the guilty and the dead.
You expect me to believe that?
How can I argue with that?
Nah, I don't think so.
You're a slave, just like us. Yeah, imagine hearing a story like that over and over. Each time a different family, each time a different injustice. Your meddling above ground reminded me of how removed I've been from the struggle. My men and I should be in the hills, fighting. Yes, but I need a show of loyalty from you. I don't need a shiv in the back while we break out. Have you met Grisvar the Unlucky? He's rightly named, and he's also a thief and a snitch. He's outlived his minor usefulness. Take care of him, and then we can leave Cidhna Mine for good. Ah, Bork will muscle one out of you on your way in? Fine. Take this one. Our struggle is our people's struggle.
How can I argue with that?
Not my problem.
You expect me to believe that?
I don't think so.
How can I argue with that?
Yeah. How can I argue with that?
How can I argue with that? I don't think so.
疲れた。
How can I argue with that?
It can't be helped.
I don't think so.
Huh? It would seem so.
Nah, I don't think so.
How can I argue with that?
You expect me to believe that?
It's nothing!
負けないわ。過ちを償いなさい。
How can I argue with that?
You expect me to believe that?
It would seem so. You're a slave, just like us. You've finally become one of us. Come with me. I think it's time I announced my plans to you and your new brothers.
What's going on, Madanach? You wouldn't have old Grisvar killed unless you weren't planning on needing him.
My brothers, we have been here long enough. It's time to leave Cidhna Mine and continue our fight against the Nords. Through this gate, just beside my quarters, is a tunnel. A tunnel that leads right through the old dwarven ruins of Markarth, into the city. Well, what do you say, my brothers?
The race belongs to the
Forsworn! I say you've earned an early pardon. Let's go. It's a little gift from the dwarves. Who knew they would end up helping our cause? We have to move. We'll talk more once we see the sky.
Which way you're moving changes what happens, and can be a big advantage.
ready while I have a word with our favorite outsider.
How can I argue with that? How can I argue with that? How can I argue with that? Indeed. How can I argue with that? You expect me to believe that? How can I argue with that? How can I argue with that?
I had Kai recover all the things the Nords stole from you. You better get ready before we break out into the city. And take this. It's blessed with the old magics. Something to remember me by. Now, I announce to all of Markarth that I have returned. Don't worry about your name. They'll know who to blame and fear after today. It'll take years, but I'll organize the Forsworn again. We'll reclaim our land, and then when power is ours, we'll have peace. A kingdom. Until then, let me offer you a warning. Beware the Forsworn. No place in the Reach is safe from us now. I'll gut you like a horker! Don't hurt me. You win.
Yeah!
Mercy! Ah!
You can't hide from me.
There you
You'll beg me to kill you before... Afraid of this while you... You're dead! Dead! You don't have a chance! You can't beat me! You're a fool to fight me! Look! You won't even live to regret this! And now! You're going to fight! You're ready to die today, huh? You're a fool to fight me.
Don't hurt me.
You stand.
I'll see you in pieces. This is your last mistake. No one bests an orc.
いかな。
How can I argue with that?
Yeah.
A little coin always greases the wheels. I'm a busy man. Half this city works for my family, and I have to keep them in line.
It can't be helped.
How can I
The
argue
blood
with that?
McCarthy silver.
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
How can I argue with that?
My eyes inside Cidhna Mine tell me that Madanak is dead. You've done a great service to the Silver Blood family. I've had the Jarl officially pardon you and take care of a few other loose ends. And you've proven that was the best move I could have made. Don't give me that look. You're free to go. Here, how about a little token for your efforts? My family's ring and all the things the guards confiscated from you when you were jailed. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to figure out how we're going to fill our recently emptied mine. The Silver Bloods pay their debts. You have my thanks. It's been good talking to you. Hello, friend.
Your name's been cleared by Broda Silver. Cidhna Mine.
Don't mind.
The Silverblood Inn has plenty of strong drink and clean rooms.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Do you feel all right?
I feel better now. Oh, good.
Oh, it's you. Sorry to hear about your imprisonment. I'm sure the guards didn't mean to throw you in jail.
It can't be helped.
Remember, ale is cheaper than blood in Markarth.
Nah.
Frobby, our customer needs a drink.
Too lazy to get him a drink yourself.
You expect me to...
You want a drink?
No, I don't think so.
It would seem
Depends. Are you thirsty, hungry, both? I should remind Clever to clean this place up.
How can I argue with that?
You expect me to believe that?
How can I argue with that?
Coin always greases the wheels.
I don't think so.
Nah, I don't think so.
Unlike my husband Clever, I watch after our guests.
What was that you said, venomous
How
wife
can I
of mine?
argue with that?
Nothing, you pig-headed oaf. It would seem so.
You expect me to believe that?
Nah. I... think so.
How can I argue with that?
A little coin always greases the wheels.
Would seem so.
How can I argue with that?
You expect me to believe that?
Huh?
How can I argue with that?
Not my problem.
Nah, I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so.
You expect me to believe that?
It would seem so.
How can I argue with that?
A little coin always greases the wheels.
Nah, I don't think so.
How can I argue with that?
Huh?
You expect me to believe that?
How can
It
I
can't
argue
be
with
helped.
that?
Nah, I don't think so.
Indeed.
Nah.
Not my problem.
I don't think so.
It would seem so.
You expect me to believe that?
Yes.
Unlike my husband Clever, I watch after our guests.
What was that you said, venomous wife of
No,
mine?
I don't think so.
Nothing, you pig-headed oaf. Now you just tell me if you need something.
You expect me to believe that?
I should remind Clever to clean this place up.
It
It
can't
would
be
seem
helped.
so.
Coin always greases the wheels.
can I argue with that?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yes?
You come right to me if you find an unwashed floor or a lumpy bed.
This is the Silver Blood Inn. Are you joking? You just rented a room from me.
How can I argue with that?
Ale is cheaper than blood in Markarth. It would seem so.
Nah,
Can
I
I
don't
argue
think
with
so.
that?
You expect me to believe that?
How can I argue with that?
A little coin always greases
I don't
the
think so.
wheels.
Yes?
It can't be helped.